Wow, I'm excited to reach you through this medium. It's just me sports, GM Sports with the double O, okay? Practically with GST sports, everything sports. But you know, in this part of our world, we talk a lot about football, so football will be predominant. So what do you want to gist about today? I'll tell you. I want to gist about the Afcon, that is the African Cup of Nations. The 32nd edition is ongoing in the land of the pyramids, Egypt. And we have 8 countries left. Let me tell you something about these 8 countries. Out of the 8 countries, only 5 of them have won the Afcon before. And they are the Super Eagles of Nigeria, winning 3 times. First in 1980 as host nation, second in 1994 in Tunisia, and third in 2013 in South Africa. Next up there you have the Côte d'Ivoire, call them Ivory Coast if you like. They won the Nations Cup for the first time in 1992 in Senegal. They had to wait for a very long time, a whopping 23 years before they could lay their hands on the Afcon trophy again, and that was in 2015 when Equatorial Guinea played host at the Afcon. 2 titles they have won, talking about the Ivory Coast. Next is the Tunisians. The Tunisians have only 1 trophy. For them, that was in 2004 when they were host. Algeria also has 1 trophy as host in 1990, far back as 1990, and of course, the South Africans, 1 trophy alone, also as host in 1996. 3 teams have won it once, won it as host. What happens to the other 3 teams? Of course, you have Benin Republic. They have never ever been to this stage of the competition before, so it's a first for them. In fact, they are yet to win a game in the Afcon. What about Madagascar? Oh, the Madagascans that have Ahmad, the CAF president. He is from Madagascar, in case you do not know. They have never been to the Afcon, let alone win it. And of course, we have Senegal. They have never won the Afcon. They came very close, just a penalty kick away from winning the Afcon. That was in 2002 with Mali as host against Cameroon, and their present coach Aliou Cisse missed that last kick. If only he had scored, they would have been champions. But no, that was how close they came, and they have never been champions. So today we'll be looking at stats and asking ourselves a simple question. As a result of stats, can we determine the country that will win the Afcon? If that is what we will use to judge the next Afcon winners, then we should be singing Super Eagles, no tension, we are winning, because we have won the Afcon 3 times, more than any other team that is left in this tournament. That is one stat. Another stat we have to look at is how have the teams fared so far in the tournament in terms of win ratio, in terms of goals scored. For that, we'll give it to the Algerians with their captain, Riyad Mahrez. They are doing great. Presently, the Algerians have played 4, won 4, scored 9, and conceded nothing. So with that stats, Algeria should win the Afcon, shouldn't they? Wait for it. You never can be very sure. Second on that list will be the Senegalese. The Senegalese have played 4, won 3, lost 1, scored 6 goals, and conceded only 1 goal. Next on that list will be the Ivory Coast. Played 4, won 3, scored 6 goals, and conceded 2. Following closely will be Nigeria, of course, Super Eagles of Nigeria. Played 4, won 3, lost 1, scored 5, and conceded 4. The other team following below the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be the South Africans. They have played 4, won 2, lost 2, scored 2, conceded 2. The last 2 teams, Tunisia and Benin Republic, have won no game, played 4, draw 4. Benin Republic are slightly higher than the Tunisians because they have scored 3 and conceded 3. The Tunisians have scored just 2 goals and conceded 2 goals. And you wonder, how did they get to this point without winning the game? They were lucky. They came third in their group, having 3 points and qualifying as the best losers from their group. Remember, this tournament is a 24-team tournament where you have the top 2 teams in the 6 groups go through, as well as the 4 best place losers, the 3rd best place teams in 4 groups out of 6 would join the automatic qualifiers, the first 2. That is how Tunisia and Benin Republic scaled through. Then you ask, how did they scale through their second round? Of course, they won via penalties after drawing both games. Both games, Benin Republic versus Morocco ended 1-0. And Benin Republic won via penalties. Tunisia and Ghana ended 1-1 also, and Tunisia won via penalties. We'll be right back for more stats. It's GN Sports with the double O. Stay with us. We are back. Time for more stats on Gist Me Sports with the double O. Earlier I talked to you about statistics as regards the African Cup of Nations. We're trying to see if statistics can guarantee or can determine the winner of the Afcon. Remember, the focus is the 2019 Afcon ongoing in Egypt. 8 countries left. I told you earlier, 5 teams out of the 8 have been champions before. So if we're looking at the stats of that, Nigeria winning 3 times, then we can say the Super Eagles will be champions. Okay, let's look at the stats of the coaches. 15 foreign coaches have won the Afcon 16 times, with Frenchman Hervé Renard winning the Afcon 2 times with 2 countries. First, he won it with Zambia in 2012, and he also won it with Ivory Coast in 2015. Whereas 11 African coaches have won the tournament 15 times. The Ghanaian Charles Gamfi won the tournament for Ghana 3 times, 1963, 1965, and of course in 1982. Maybe we should go recalling to help the Black Stars win the tournament again, because out of the 4 triumphs, he won it 3 times for them. Although right now he's a blessed memory. He passed on in 2015. The other man, Hassan Shehata, the Egyptian, he won the tournament 3 times on the trot with Egypt in 2006, 2008, and of course in 2010. So we have 11 African coaches winning the tournament 15 times. If you look at that stat, so the foreigners, they have a little edge. They've won 16 times, whereas the Africans have won 15 times. Should we now say that countries that have foreigners as coaches would win the Afcon? Let's look at the coaches that we have for this tournament for the teams left. 5 teams presently left in the Afcon have foreign coaches. Of course, Super Eagles of Nigeria have a Franco-German in charge, Gernot Rohr, whereas the South Africans have an Englishman in charge, Stuart Baxter. We have 3 French coaches, one in charge of Benin Republic, another in charge of Madagascar, and one in charge of Tunisia. Alain Dugris is the coach of Tunisia. Nicolas Depure is the coach of Madagascar. And Michel Dusoya is the coach of Benin Republic. 5 coaches from the foreign nations in charge of 5 African teams left in the tournament. I was saying that these teams, one of these 5 teams are likely to win the Afcon. You never can say. Whereas the other 3 teams have local coaches. Alois Cisse of Senegal is in charge of Senegal. Remember, he was a former captain, and we said 11 coaches have won the trophy 15 times for the African nation. Jamel Belmadi is in charge of the Algerian national team. Of course, he's a local, he's an Algerian. And finally, we have in charge of the Ivorian national team, Ibrahim Kamara. These are the 3 local coaches and 5 foreign coaches I mentioned earlier. The foreign coaches have an edge. So that means we're looking at Nigeria, South Africa, Madagascar, Benin Republic, and Tunisia as the likely winners of the Afcon. If we to follow the stats of the number of times foreigners have won the trophy, talking about the African Cup of Nations. I've given you stats of teams that have won the trophy before, and with that, Nigeria came out tops. I gave you stats of the team that have performed best in the current Afcon. With that, Algeria came out tops. I gave you stats of the teams of coaches that have won the Afcon, foreign or local. That we have a tie because we have 5 foreign coaches, which means just 5 teams that have foreign coaches have the edge. And finally, let me give you the stats of head-to-head. The teams in this tournament facing each other to look at the likely scenario of a team getting past this stage, this quarterfinal stage. The other stats I have for you is the game between Algeria and the Côte d'Ivoire. They have met a whopping 7 times in the Afcon. Cote d'Ivoire winning 3 times, Algeria winning 2, and 2 times it ended in draws. If you look at that stats, you will say, oh yeah, Cote d'Ivoire are through to the semi-finals. And the last match up we have for you is the game between Madagascar and Tunisia. And unfortunately, we don't have stats for you. Of course, you know Madagascar, this is their first tournament and they have never come up against any team in the Afcon before, apart from the teams they have met already in previous matches played in this tournament. So Madagascar versus Tunisia, we have no stats for you. So which means that is also 50-50. Let's see how these permutations will pan out. The semi-finals games are coming up Wednesday and Thursday. Thanks for being with us today. Remember, we'll be coming your way regularly. It's just Miss Boss with the double O. Catch ya!